The average American family overpays for flights by more than $400 every single trip. Not because cheap seats do not exist, but because almost nobody knows when to look, where to look, or what the airlines are actually doing behind the scenes to manipulate the prices you see. The system is not random. It is designed. And once you understand how it works, you will never pay full price for a flight again. In the next 10 minutes, you are going to learn the exact strategies that frequent flyers and travel hackers use to consistently book flights for a fraction of what most people pay. We will cover the best days to book, the tools the airlines do not want you using, and the one counterintuitive trick that sounds completely wrong but saves hundreds of dollars every single time. By the end of this video, you will have a complete playbook for finding cheap flights, no matter where you want to go. To understand why flights are so expensive for most people, you first need to understand how airline pricing actually works. Airlines do not have fixed prices. They use something called dynamic pricing, a system that was pioneered by American Airlines back in the 1980s. The idea was simple: fill every seat on every plane at the highest price the market will bear. Seats close to departure that are still empty get discounted. Seats on popular routes during peak travel times get inflated. And the algorithm adjusts prices hundreds of times per day based on demand, competitor pricing, and historical booking patterns. What this means for you is that the same seat on the same flight can cost $89 one day and $340 3 days later. The plane has not changed. The seat has not changed. Only the algorithm has. Airlines also segment their passengers. They know that business travelers book late and have employer-funded expense accounts. So they keep a block of premium seats artificially priced for that market. Leisure travelers who book early get the discount fares. But there is a sweet spot between those two windows, and that sweet spot is where the deals live. Here is the first thing most people get completely wrong. They search for flights when they are ready to book. That is backwards. You should be monitoring prices weeks or even months before you intend to purchase. Tools like Google Flights, Hopper, and Kayak Explorer allow you to set price alerts on specific routes. Google Flights even shows you a price calendar, a full grid of departure dates with color-coded indicators showing which days are cheapest. Using that calendar alone can save you 30 to 50% on a ticket just by shifting your departure by 1 or 2 days. But here is what nobody talks about: the day of the week you fly matters far more than the day of the week you book. Flying on a Tuesday or Wednesday is consistently 20 to 30% cheaper than flying on a Friday or Sunday. Airlines price peak travel days at a premium because demand is higher. If your schedule has any flexibility at all, moving your departure from Sunday evening to Tuesday morning can put hundreds of dollars back in your pocket on a single round trip. Speaking of round trips, stop booking them as a single transaction by default. Sometimes booking 2 one-way tickets on different airlines is significantly cheaper than a round trip on the same carrier. This is especially true on international routes where budget carriers dominate one direction but not the other. Always compare. The booking interface makes it feel like a round trip is the logical unit. It is not. It is just a convention. Now let us talk about the 8-week rule. Research compiled from millions of flight searches consistently shows that the ideal booking window for domestic flights in the United States is between 1 and 3 months before departure. Book earlier than that and you are often paying the initial release price, which is higher than it will be in a few weeks. Book later and you are competing with last-minute business travelers pushing prices up. For international flights, that window extends to roughly 2 to 6 months out. Booking a transatlantic flight 5 months in advance versus 2 weeks in advance can mean the difference between $480 and $1,200 for the exact same route. One of the most powerful tools that almost no casual traveler uses is called the hidden city ticket. Here is how it works. Imagine you want to fly from New York to Denver. A direct flight costs $320. But a flight from New York to Las Vegas with a layover in Denver costs only $190. You book the Vegas flight, get off in Denver, and never board the connecting leg. You just paid $130 less for the same seat to the same destination. This is completely legal. Airlines do not like it, and they have terms of service that technically prohibit it, but millions of travelers use this strategy every year. The site Skiplagged was literally sued by United Airlines over this, and the lawsuit was dropped. That tells you everything you need to know about how real and effective this method is. Another strategy that the travel hacking community swears by is the error fare. Airlines and online travel agencies occasionally publish prices with genuine errors: a transatlantic business class ticket for $150, a round trip to Tokyo for $200. These are not myths. They happen multiple times per year. Services like Secret Flying, Airfare Watchdog, and Scott's Cheap Flights monitor for these errors in real time and alert subscribers the moment they appear. The window to book is often just a few hours. Airlines are not legally required to honor error fares in all jurisdictions, but many do, either out of goodwill or to avoid the public relations backlash of canceling hundreds of tickets. Signing up for at least one error fare alert service costs nothing and requires almost no effort. The upside is enormous. Now here is the counterintuitive insight we teased at the beginning. Clearing your browser cookies or using incognito mode before searching for flights actually can affect the prices you see. Airlines and travel sites track your search history. If you have looked at a route multiple times, their systems interpret that as high intent, and some platforms respond by showing you slightly higher prices to create urgency. Using a private browsing window removes that behavioral data from the equation. It does not always produce a difference, but enough travelers have documented consistent price drops after switching to incognito that it has become standard practice in the travel hacking community. Let us also talk about geography. Where you book from matters. VPN-based price comparisons have shown that booking the same international flight through a travel agency in a lower-income country, or with the currency set to a weaker denomination, can sometimes yield prices 15 to 25% lower than booking in US dollars from a US IP address. This is called geographical price discrimination. It is not a glitch. It is intentional. Airlines and third-party booking platforms price their inventory differently for different markets. Using a reliable VPN to change your apparent location before searching is a legitimate strategy that seasoned travelers use regularly. Beyond all of these tactics, the single most impactful long-term strategy is building and protecting your frequent flyer miles and credit card points. The Chase Sapphire Preferred, the American Express Platinum, and the Capital One Venture Card all offer transfer programs that allow you to move points to airline loyalty programs. A sign-up bonus alone on one of these cards can be worth 1 or 2 free international flights. Travelers who structure their spending around a single rewards ecosystem, using one card for everyday purchases and maximizing category bonuses, can realistically earn enough points for 2 to 3 round-trip flights per year without changing their spending habits at all. The airlines have built an entire system designed to extract maximum revenue from uninformed passengers. But every tool you have learned today puts the leverage back in your hands. Price alerts and flexible dates can save you 30 to 50% before you even get to the advanced strategies.